So you've got that dichotomy, right? It's not losing for the sake of losing. It's losing for the sake, obviously, of eventually winning. But if you have a product where you've got so many teams that literally don't want to win, what does that say to the fans, Shams? And why now, after decades and decades of tanking, Hugh says there's more of it than ever before, and I think a lot of us can agree on that. Why does the league, why does Adam Silver feel like this is the moment when I have to draw the line?
I think Q said it right there. It's integrity. All the points that Q just made, and that's something that Adam Silver, the general managers, the board of governors, the majority of these stakeholders all understand or have come to the understanding of, like, this is about the integrity of the sport, of the viability of it long term, and it not just being looked at as the integrity being shattered to an extent, whether that has gambling and the prop bets. I reported on this in December. These conversations have been going on for months, guys. This is something November, December. There were already different concepts being thrown out to the board of governors in December about curbing tanking, preventing tanking, combating tanking. We didn't know whether there was going to be anything eventually passed or that the NBA was eventually going to for sure do it. But the fact that in December they were already talking about ways to combat tanking, it was a sign that they were already looking at this. And it was a sign that they were already worried about the integrity of the sport, with the backdrop being the gambling, the prop bets. Because at the end of the day, if a team is resting guys, sitting guys, and doing stuff in manipulating the roster, that has a direct impact on bettors, on lines, on prop bets. And I think that is the backdrop to all of this, and something that NBA teams are looking at. Like, we're in a different environment now. We're in an environment now where, there's tanking, but there's also open season on prop bets and gambling. So that's the backdrop to all of this. And I think we saw with Sam Hinkie and the Sixers a decade ago, or however long ago it was, and then we saw some draft reform.
Tried to achieve.
It's still processing right now, Shams. It's the process is still processing.
And the NBA responded to it back then because it was so outward. It was so in their face. It was so in everyone's face. And now we have an issue, whether you want to look at the Jazz, whether you want to look at other teams, whether you want to look at the fact that, like Q Rich just said, about a third of the league, 9-10 teams are involved in trying. But the Sacramento Kings, are they trying to lose games, or are they just a bad team? Like, they haven't done anything with their roster.
That could be argued.
We've had two players right now, Sabonis and Zach LaVine, undergo season-ending surgeries. One is for a torn meniscus. The other is for a tendon injury in the hand.
Right. By definition, we're talking about bad teams anyway, when we're talking about tanking. But there are different degrees.
Right. So do we have to look at the word tanking in a different way? Is tanking you're just bad and you're trying to lose on you're trying to lose on purpose and you're manipulating lineups? Or is it, hey, we've just put together a bad roster. We thought we would be competitive for a play-in berth. We're clearly not, and we're losing, and now we're just embracing the losing. So I think how you get there, I guess it all goes in one of the same. But the fact that we have about 10 teams doing it, or 9-10 teams that are involved in this draft jockeying positioning, I think that has let the league know, like, we have to address this. It's outwardly in our face now.
Q, you've been around the league for a quarter century as a player, in the front office, as a member of the media. From a player's perspective, when you were on teams and the objective wasn't to win as many games as possible, but to secure some kind of better odds, what was that like?
I've never been on a team where that was the case. Now, one could argue that when I was with the Clippers, my entire existence with the Clippers could have been said that that's what, ownership was doing. But that was never presented to us that way, and we never went out there and performed that way. If you go look back at those Clipper teams, we were all 19 and 20 and 18-year-old, and we were guns a-blazing, trying with our all. So we weren't even in the scope of any type of knowledge that, hey, we tanking and this and that. We knew we were with the worst team in the league. We knew that coming in. When we got drafted, we were told that. We were reminded that several times. So we knew that. And I could even go to when I was with the New York Knicks, and we weren't good. No way. Isaiah Thomas was trying to win. They were building that team to win. There was never any we're going to lose. No, it was loud in that garden. The boos we heard, the response that we got from the way we performed, it wasn't about like, hey, you're trying to tank. Because I think if the fans had thought that was going on, they might have taken it a little easy on us. Like, at least they trying to do something to get, you know what I'm saying, get us in better position. But they knew that wasn't the case. So I can't ever say that I was involved in an organization where I knew that we were outwardly trying to situate ourselves by losing to, you know, to get in a better position to get a draft pick. Like, me as a player, I would be looking like, this ain't the place for me. Y'all want us to lose. Like, this makes us as players look bad. Our rep is going down when we lose and we don't perform or we don't play, whatever those things are, we look bad. And you want us to do that so that you can come draft some hotshot kid to come take my spot.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. From the player's perspective.
I'm not subscribing to that as a player. I don't know who would.
Shams.
No, I mean, I think that's the behind the scenes of, like, coaches. Are they coaching in conjunction with the general managers and the teams of, like, this is what we're trying to accomplish? And are the players feeling that way? Like, I don't think Sacramento's players came into the season saying, hey, we're on a losing team, we're trying to tank, we're trying to lose. They just weren't good. I mean, that's just the bottom. You have a team with Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis. They didn't enter the season trying to lose. They entered the season trying to win. You get to a point in the season where you just realize we're just not a good team. There are a few teams like that. The Mavericks entered the season with aspirations of trying to compete for something this year, try to get Kyrie Irving back the second half of the year, try to get AD, Cooper Flag, and Kyrie on the floor at the same time and try to win. They get to the point where they're in January, February, we're not going anywhere. This is the last year we control our pick.
So a team like Dallas, I think that's a victim of circumstance. You know, the cards played out that way. No Kyrie, no AD. We ain't gonna be but so good anyway. So I don't put them almost in that same cluster like that. But the thing I find interesting about what you just said about, think about it. Whenever it's been like a tanking situation, like use Philly for example. You said it. Coaches aren't built that way to be in collaboration to lose. Like, why do you think whenever teams are doing that tanking, whoever that coach is that's coaching them, he out of here as soon as we get to where we think we getting and we need to be? Like, you've been coaching us to lose for the last 2 years, so you can't turn around and say, "Hey, win, win, win." Them guys not gonna listen to you.